How can Broadway shows better engage with fans? Let's talk about it. Hi friends, if you're new here, my name is Katharine Quinn. I am a 30-something living in New York and working on Broadway. Last year I worked on Shucked and How to Dance in Ohio. My dog is having a moment over here. Sir, would you like to settle? This year I'm working on The Great Gatsby on Broadway. Other shows TBD, as always, the blog fam is the first to know about what is next, so make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a thing. Final point to make here is I run social media on The Great Gatsby through a company called And That's Showbiz. If you want to follow us, you can click it down below. And That Showbiz does social media marketing, other forms of marketing, but also is just like trying to bring digital audiences to Broadway and bridge the gap between those two things. So it is like this content, but without my face. It's produced by me, but it is not Katharine Quinn facing content. So there is going to be interviews over there, roundtables, curtain calls, BTS, press, red carpet, all that jazz. Okay. Well, with that in mind, this is the 5th video in a series that I've done about an Instagram survey that I ran. Follow me on Instagram @it's Katharine Quinn, about how we can improve the Broadway experience. Fun facts that I never tire of sharing are: we have 17% fewer audiences than we did pre-pandemic, and even pre-pandemic, 8 out of 10 Broadway shows did not recoup or therefore did not make their money back or were not financially successful products. So Broadway has a lot of pain points and a lot of room to grow. This was an investigation amongst my own community to see what we feel like is and is not working on Broadway and how we can improve that experience and open up a discussion. As always, I'm not here for a monologue. I am here for a discussion. So please feel free to leave your thoughts, comments, questions, suggestions in the comments below, and let's dig into it. Everyone wants to see behind the scenes. Everyone loves behind the scenes. It makes the fans feel included and they want to get to know the actors and techs. Show footage of the show, especially when there's not a cast album yet, i.e. show us rehearsal clips. Showcase more of the techies and the tech experience. Multiple people said this, which I think is so interesting. It is very common for social media, for Broadway shows to showcase stars only. Something I'm working very hard to do on Gatsby. It's challenging, but so much fun, is to feature as many humans working on the show as humanly possible. So whether that is dressers or folks in the band, or our swings and understudies, or ensemble even. Like, I think about so many of the shows that I follow and I don't see the ensemble literally ever. Never. Stars only. I love featuring all these humans as much as humanly possible, and it makes me very happy that people love it. And also, I have seen that firsthand. It's like, I make a point of mentioning it in marketing meetings because I feel like there's this assumption that people only care about like the 2 lead names that you know, or the 4 lead names that you know, or the 8 lead names. And it's just not the case. Like, people really engage with other folks who are in different parts of the show. And the last thing I'm going to say here is like, I'm also super passionate about sharing careers in theater that are like, that people don't know about, especially kids, just because there's so much that I didn't know about growing up. Like, I'm obviously in none of the jobs I've done in theater were things that I thought would happen in my life. And I'm so grateful. And also, it would have been awesome to know what those were earlier. Access equals engagement. I think this is so poignant, but multiple people were like, give us access, give us behind the scenes, let us know these people as human beings, give us an emotional connection to the people who are a part of the show. Again, you're welcome for this free consultation. Access equals engagement. Also, people really value actual engagement on social. So replying to comments, reposting stories, etc. It is wild to me. I mean, I get it because everyone is overtaxed, but it is wild to me how few shows actually interact with fans on various platforms. I think it is it's very fun. I love engaging with the fans. More work, but it's very fun. Begin the process sooner. So folks were like, we don't know what the show is until opening night. The way you do that, start that social media train in advance of your out of town. Literally. Gatsby, we had 70,000 followers coming out of Paper Mill, which was awesome. Speak to the fans. Some shows do this really well. I feel like Six does this incredibly well. Like Pico Group, y'all are nailing it. It's great. Don't just repost playbills on your stories, and don't just repost what already exists from other branches of marketing. As someone said, realize that millennial women are the ones with purchasing power. I have a whole video talking about Taylor Swift generation being the Broadway ticket buyers over here, and it is so true. It is underestimated. I think that producers still think that the Broadway ticket buyers are like, I don't know, boomers, and that is actually not the case. The primary ticket buyer is in fact Taylor Swift generation. Have better relationships with schools. Someone said Kimberly Akimbo did this really well. I know that's something we're working towards on Gatsby. I'm sure Outsiders, I'm sure Stuffs, I'm sure all of these shows are working on that as well. I think that's so important. I won't speak too much to like our Gatsby initiatives, but I'm really excited to push some new direction there. Meet kids on the platforms where they are in ways that are interesting to them. Livestreaming and Pro Shots. So many of these comments, and you know that's music to my ears because I'm very, very passionate about live streaming and Pro Shots. Loyalty programs, which I feel like we're just starting to properly do, but I really, really love this. If you are partaken in a Broadway loyalty program, will you leave a comment genuinely? Because like I have not, and I'm curious what that experience is like and what is good and what's working and what could be better. Definitely want to do something with the old sports on Gatsby, so let me know. Special fan experiences to create reasons to return. Talkback, special events, better merch, something for people who wait in the rush lines, local events that align with the show. Discount codes, immersive lobby experiences, and releasing the music early. I'm obsessed with literally all of these takes. I have thoughts about every single individual one, but literally if we talked about it, I would be here for another hour. Anyway, those are those thoughts. Something that I thought was interesting that came out of this, please create more theater that appeals to Gen Z, which obviously I have a younger following. And so I was like, great, what does that mean? So when I broke down to Gen Z, here's what people said. Fewer white male tenor leads on Broadway, LOL. More accessible pricing. The number one comment I got from like overall from that was, we want original stories. We don't want stuff board in a boardroom. We want actual writers, which is so interesting because I do feel like there are some shows that feel like they're trying to hit the Gen Z market, but don't actually know what the Gen Z market wants. And it does feel like it was a bunch of boomers who got together and they were like, they care about these things. This is a musical now. Someone specifically wants more indie folk rock pop. The number two most common response to this was unique experiences. They want something novel. Multiple people cited this. They want more nitty gritty, less glam. Maybe glam shows skew older. More outreach for students, again. Less racism and sexism, and fewer revivals that have been tweaked to do this with slightly less bigotry. It's a good take. Shows that are metaphors for examining modern life. Okay, Gen Z, work. More behind the scenes in building a community, genuine representation, for Broadway to value us as much as they value our parents and grandparents. After that, I have, damn, that's a good why. That like feels like a good why for me, especially as I'm digital audiences and people who follow me and who are part of this community. My YouTube audience skews a lot older, so I don't know. Anyway, student rush in addition to regular rush. Gatsby has student rush, just gonna hype that $25, live your dreams. Telling stories with new perspectives and voices. Representation, accessible venues. 2 specific revivals were requested. Newsies and Rent. I do think it's time for a Rent revival. Hot take. Give us like, I don't know about immersive Rent because that's kind of busted, but a themed lobby or something? I don't know. I don't even know what that would be. Oh, actually, didn't they do that in the original, sort of? Anyway, more comedies and more stories about young people. I lived for this. Thank you, Gen Z, for showing up in those survey responses. I feel like Gen Z just like calls you out and tells it like it is, which honestly, I love. Overall, it mostly just feels like we have a ways to go in terms of audience engagement, but as always, I want to know what your takeaways are. What are sites and Broadway shows that are doing it well? Tell me loyalty programs that you've taken advantage of. Who's got the good merch? Who's creating repeat experiences that you want to see? Or if you aren't experiencing that, do you even care about it? Just let me know in the comment section. I'm ready to start this conversation. I have loved this series. Thank you so much. If you missed any of the series, I'll link them down below. It has been so much fun. And thank you all so much for watching. As always, I invite you to like, comment, and subscribe. It is actually helpful to me as a new YouTube creator. It's the surest way to let the YouTube algorithm know what wonderful people to push this video out to, people just like yourself. I invite you to follow me on Instagram and TikTok @it's Katharine Quinn. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the comment section. Bye.